Hi guys, today we are going to be testing out the new collection from Lethal Cosmetics. I did receive this collection in PR. I don't know how it just completely slipped my mind to mention that in the video, but I am so grateful and thankful to Lethal for sending me all of these, so I just wanted to come in here and let you guys know. So let's get back to the video. And I don't know about you guys, but when I saw this collection get sneak peeked, I was so excited because this palette is so much fun and I love the theme of it. So this is the After Dark collection. It consists of an eyeshadow palette, which I will show you the slip that it came in because this is how the outside of the palette actually came. But then they also sent with these little stickers so you could decorate the palette yourself. So here's the stickers that I put on mine. I also put some on the back here. And I just think that this is so cute. This is kind of like the same concept that was on the Elf and J Kiss It palette, where it also came with a sheet of stickers. And then you can decorate your own palette. I will say that when you buy this, you have to buy the stickers separately. So they don't come with the actual palette, but if you want to pick them up, you can. But like I said, this is how the palette comes without the stickers. And I mean, this is still pretty cute. So another thing that I do want to mention is that all of the Lethal Cosmetics palettes that they come out with, you know, as a set palette are depottable and magnetic. So you do have little holes on the back here so that you can poke out the shadows if you want to, but let me show you the inside of the palette because obviously that is way more exciting. So here's what the inside looks like, and it has 12 absolutely beautiful colors. I'm so excited to play with this. I love Lethal's formula. I think that they are such a solid brand. They're usually extremely easy to work with, and I have no doubt in my mind that they are going to be able to come out with very good colors like this, which is kind of hard for a lot of brands, it seems like, for some reason. And they also came out with a collection of eyeliners, and oh my god, I'm so excited for these. Guys, have you ever seen any brand come out with like neon gel liners before? Because I have not, but here's what the liners look like all swatched out. And I will say, I'm so impressed by the formula of these. Obviously, I haven't tried them on my eyes yet, but so far, just from like dipping my brush into these and kind of swatching them, they were so creamy. Like, I don't know if you guys have tried the Melt gel liners. They were kind of like the same creaminess, but a little bit less moussey. And I've had these on my hand now for maybe 5 minutes. So let's see like how smudge proof these are, because I haven't really, you know, been able to tell if they've dried down or not. So let's that's always a good sign. So I'm really rubbing here. This is awesome. I cannot wait to play with all of this. So I mean, that's basically what we're going to do. So I will have the pricing for all of this on the screen so that you can, you know, see what everything costs. And also I want to say that when I swatched this palette, the mattes felt a little bit maybe tricky to work with, but I also know that Lethal's mattes don't always swatch the best, but they always perform really well on the eyes. The shimmers looked absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait to play with this. I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyes with my Smashbox primer today, I think, because I don't know, I just want to use this. No other reason really. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then we're gonna go ahead and create a look with this. I want to obviously play with the palette, but I also want to play with quite a few of these eyeliners. And I have actually already had the gel liners that I'm going to be using today picked out for me by my beautiful butterflies, aka my channel members. If you want to become part of my membership or my channel membership, there is a join button down below this video. It only works on computers, I'm pretty sure, and it's just a way for you to support my channel if you would like to. Of course, don't feel the pressure to if you are not interested. I'm not going to be mad either way, but I will be doing some behind the scenes things and like some polls and stuff and just other fun stuff if you want to be part of that little community. And you will also get a little butterfly next to your name if you comment on my videos, which is just, it's so cute. So let's go ahead and get into this. So I want to play with two of these liners today. Like I said, they've already kind of been chosen out for me. So we are going to be using the pink as well as the teal together. So I think that this is going to be really, really cute. I gotta figure out how I want to kind of incorporate these into the look. I might even dip into the black as well, because maybe I'll do a big wing today. Maybe that could be kind of fun. And then maybe I'll do two of the liners in my waterline. Could I maybe do that? Or what I could do is I could do my big wings and I could use these and then do like opposite eyes and kind of flip them just so we can test out more of these eyeliners. Maybe that's what I'll do. I think that could be kind of fun. It is going to mean though that I'm not going to use as many of the shadows in the palette, but obviously this isn't like the only video that I'm going to make with this collection. So I kind of think that's what I want to do. So obviously for that reason, I think I am going to be using the same colors in the palette. That's one of the things I like about this collection, is that a lot of the eyeliners have like the same color in the palette. So you have that one, you have a green, even though they're not like exactly the same. You have the purple, which is basically the same color. So I think that's fun that it's very much the same. Like if you want to pick up one eyeliner to go with the palette, it's probably going to go with the palette very well. So let's see, where do I want to start? I think I'm gonna go ahead and take this color in my crease on this eye and then the pink color in my crease on this eye. I don't know if I want to do anything else with the crease colors. Maybe I'll do something else under my eye, but let's go ahead and start with that. So another thing that I do want to quickly mention is that because this palette is magnetic, obviously there are no shade names underneath here because these shadows are depotable. You can also buy this as an empty palette without the shadows inside of it, but still get like the limited edition like packaging and stuff, and you can kind of make your own After Dark palette, which I think is kind of cool. But if you want to know what the shadows are called, the names are actually like on the back of the slip here. So I'm obviously going to keep this just so I can tell you guys what shadow names I'm using, but if you don't care about what the names of the shadows are, you can definitely throw away the slip. So I'm first going to go into the teal color, which is called Proxy. And I think I said I was going to use that on this eye, or maybe it was this eye, but it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to take it on this eye. I'm going to put this in my crease. Obviously, I did not set my eyeshadow primer because I do prefer to not do that, because I just find that the shadows go on the eye way more pigmented when I don't. And so far, this is looking beautiful. Just gonna take my time with this and try to build this up as much as I'm able to, and also just really blend this out as well as I can here, because I think this is going to be the only shadow that I really have in my crease. I'm also going to keep the shape of this quite round, because when I go in and I do my wing, I do want my wing to extend past the shadow that I have on the outer part of my eye here. And it'll be interesting to do this as well, because it'll really show like how well those liners are going to build and cover other shadows underneath, because that is one thing that's important to me, at least, is that they are nice and opaque. I mean, they felt really opaque when I swatched them out on a hand. This is just one dip into the pot with kind of a fluffy brush, and that was the pigment that I got. So I was very impressed just by, you know, my first impression, but obviously I gotta actually try them on the eyes. So next I'm gonna go into the pink. I'm gonna put that on this side. That one is called Caps Lock. Just gonna do the same thing that I did with the turquoise on the other side. There is quite a bit of kick up in the pan with these colors. Just something to keep in mind. I just try to kind of pick it up next time I go back in with my brush. So normally when I do these kind of flipped eyed looks, I will flip my lower lash line, but I feel like since I'm gonna go in with like the opposite color liner, that's going to look crazy, because that means if I have the pink liner on this eye, I'm gonna end up having pink under my eye, and I think that's gonna look kind of weird. So I'm just gonna go ahead and basically do the same thing under my eye that I have in my crease here.
It was all a big mistake, never meant to miss the date. I was caught up with my friends, I forgot that we had plans. So the roses on the floor and found the champagne by.
So far, all good. I think next I'm gonna go in with the liner. So I'm gonna start with the pink liner here. This one is called Bitcrush, and I'm going to use that on this side, like I said. And I'm gonna go ahead and use a kind of thin eyeliner brush to do this with. This one is from Makeup Forever. It is my favorite. It's the 250 brush. It's a very, very stiff, very thin, kind of pointed brush. This is like the best eyeliner brush that I have for this kind of work, because I just find it to be nice and stiff. Like I said, I prefer stiff liners to do this with. So like I said, this is an extremely creamy formula, so I'm gonna kind of wipe off a little bit of the excess here on my hand and just work with a little bit at a time here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm sorry if I go out of focus while I do this, but it's really hard to do for me without being very, very close to the mirror. So I'm gonna go ahead and start by tracing a line up from the outer corner of my eye, keeping my eye open and drawing this line like above the hood of my eye and kind of up towards my brow here. And then when I have that line, I'm gonna go ahead and connect that to the hood of my eye, still keeping my eye open. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in this whole wing part. So I will say it's not covering up all of the shadow underneath yet, so I'm probably gonna have to go in with another layer, but I think that once I go in with my second layer, it's going to cover very nicely. And I also think that this would make for a great eyeshadow base if you're the type who likes to have bases underneath your shadows. And I am taking this on my lid as well, as you can see, and just making sure that I kind of connect this all the way. And then while this is drying, I'm gonna go into the more turquoise here. This one is called Aux or AUX. I'm not really sure if there's a way to pronounce that. I'm gonna do the same thing that I did on this side, just on this side.
All my favorite things, they were there except for you. You were gone. Now I'm here all alone, and I really wish you'd just pick up your phone. Called you like a thousand.
So as you can see, these are quite nice and opaque, and they're very easy to work with. They are extremely creamy, which makes it very easy. So what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna take a bit more of a fluffier, bigger brush. This is the Morphe M149, and I'm gonna use that to basically put on an extra layer on top of this, just so we can get this nice and opaque. So I'm first gonna go into the pink here. And this is the kind of brush that I used to do my swatches with. So I'm gonna see how much more opaque that is and neon when I go in with a second layer. So these are definitely quite buildable. The question is just, is it going to get crusty and cracky, or is it going to stay nice and smooth? And there's only one way to find out. But so far, I'm just loving how easy these are to work with. And honestly, what I'm the most excited about is using these in my waterline. I've seen so many people use gel liners in their waterlines, and I feel like these are going to be so creamy that they're going to get very easy to like actually get into my waterline. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing. I'm just gonna make sure I wipe off my brush very well here. And I'm just gonna go over this side as well. Like, I think for the people who are really into doing like graphic liners, these are going to be amazing just because of how creamy they are. I mean, this looks great. So what I'm gonna do next is, what do I wanna do? I'm thinking I just wanna put a shimmer on my lid on both eyes that is the same. So I'm probably just going to use like the lightest shimmer in the palette. I think I'm just gonna go into the shade here, but I am going to use some of my NYX glitter primer because I'm too lazy to cut my crease. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put some of this on in kind of like a cut crease form. Just gonna meet this up with that wing that I did and just fill in the rest of my lid. Gonna layer a little bit of this above the wing as well, because I am going to blend that shimmer shade over the wing so that we get a good gradient here, because right now it looks a bit crazy. And then I'm gonna dip into the white shade here, which is called Overdrive. And I'm just going to basically put this all over my lid here and try to build this up as much as I'm able to and get it nice and opaque.
Baby, I apologize. So pick up your life.
So you can see now that this color isn't 100% opaque, because you can still see a little bit of that pink through it. But I think that that's kind of cool actually, as long as I get a good blend between the two here, which I'm not sure I've achieved, but I'm gonna work on that once I've gotten this just placed on both eyes here.
If you just let me explain, we can minimize the pain. So you're posting on the gram, I even try to call your fam. All the things I would say just to make.
So I do think that this looks really cool, but I am gonna go back in with a little bit more of that liner because I just need a little bit of a better blend out here. Normally I would do this with shadows because I would have shadow on the outer part of my wing, but since I don't have that, this might be a little bit tricky, but I'm gonna go ahead and try it still. Just gonna take a little bit more of that turquoise liner to start off and just make sure that the blend here and like the line that I'm trying to achieve is the way that I want it to be. Yeah, so it's not the easiest to blend a gel liner into a shadow, obviously, which is not the shadow's fault or the liner's fault. It's simply my fault for trying to do so. Maybe I'll go ahead and actually take this a little bit on my lash line as well. And create a bit of a diagonal here. I don't really know what I'm doing, but we're just gonna kind of go with it. So I'm kind of jiving with this. I think what I'm gonna do next is I wanna do a little bit of white in my waterline. Is that what I want to use? Because I just want to use one more of these liners. I feel like the yellow is going to be a little bit crazy with this. What about the purple? The purple could look cool, but I don't know. I just feel like this calls for a white eyeliner, so I'm gonna pop a little bit of this one. This one is Buffer, and I'm not used to using these kind of liners in my waterline, so I'm first gonna try it with a kind of flat brush here and see if that works. I'm just gonna go ahead and tap that into my waterline and see if I can get it. Wow, I was gonna say get it to stick, but that is really in there. Oh, you know how I said that my ColourPop liners are kind of drying out a little bit? Well, with these, I don't feel like I need to buy new liners from ColourPop, which is great. I mean, that is assuming that these last in my waterline, of course, but from having them on my hand, they're definitely waterproof, and I mean, this looks really good. And I also feel like you could absolutely use these liners as like a colored mascara. If you somehow just like get some on your brush and just wiggle them on your lower lashes, I feel like that would look really, really cool. Honestly, I'm more excited about the liners than I am the palette, and I'm sure the palette is great still, even though I only use like 2 shades or 3 shades. But I'm just like, I feel like these are so unique to my collection that right now I'm more excited about these, but obviously I still need to play a lot more with the palette, but I think that this looks so cool. I mean, the shadows perform just like Lethal's shadows always do. They were great. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to just put on some mascara. I was gonna say I'll be back when my eyes are done, but really that's the only step that I need to take. So I'm just gonna curl my lashes real quick and put on some Bad Gal Bang because it is my favorite. It's always been my favorite. It's probably always going to be my favorite because I just love this mascara so much. But you're gone. Now I'm here all alone, and I really wish you'd just pick up your phone. Called you like 1,000 times, you saw my name and hit decline. So I kind of wish I did lashes with this look because I feel like that would have really like enhanced this, but I still like the way it looks with just mascara, and like by the time I'm done with my mascara, there's just too much mascara on to go back in with lashes. So let's see, I definitely want to have a pink lip today, I think, because I just feel like that's going to actually maybe, yeah, no, I do think that that would kind of tie it together, wouldn't it? Maybe I'll do the lips first and then we can go ahead and do the rest of the face after because it's going to be a little bit easier that way, I think. But I also feel like maybe if I do pink on my lips, this is kind of what I was thinking. I feel like it might be a little bit too much pink and like leaning too pink. So maybe I need to do a color on my lips that don't at all have anything to do with my eyes. What if I do, I don't even know what that would be, honestly. I just feel like if I do a nude, it's just not going to look that great. And also I'm noticing that I'm not having any transfer with the eyeliners, which is awesome because I did line my upper lash line a little bit, and usually by now I would have a little bit of color just like up in my crease here. So these dry very quickly despite being extremely creamy, which I think is awesome. I'm so excited about these liners, you guys. These are great. Also, should we see if I can remove these with my makeup wipe here? How am I gonna be able to get these off? I really hope that my oil cleanser is going to be able to get this off because these are like the best makeup wipes that I have, and even these are not really removing any of these. I'm just gonna leave these on my hand for now because otherwise I'm gonna be scrubbing it to death. But let's go ahead and do some blush. So I definitely want to have like a very bright pink blush today. I don't really know if I even have anything that is like as bright as I want it to be, but I'm going to try to use my Morphe palette. This is the HC palette, so they're cool tone ones. I'm going to grab this color right here, which is called Hot. And we're going to see if this is going to be pink enough for what I'm looking for. So it's not really that pink. I really wanted something a little bit more on the cool tone side, but I mean, it's kind of too late now to do something else. I feel like this is matching my scrunchies more than it's matching my eye look, but that's okay. So let's try to take a bit of the shade Free as well, which is definitely one of those shimmery blushes. Just layer a little bit of this on top and see if I can make it a bit more cool toned. It's not really working, but it is giving it a little bit of luminosity here, which looks really, really nice. I really like these Morphe blush palettes. I know I've said it many times in the past, but I think the formula on them is really, really nice. For highlighter, I'm gonna use probably one from Lethal. I feel like that's gonna go really nice with this look. I'm gonna grab, I forget what it's called. I'm gonna grab this one. This one is in the shade Ionic, so I think this has a bit of like a pink shift to it. So we're gonna put a little bit of this on. These are a little bit too light for me, both of the ones that I have from Lethal, because when I have a bit of a tan, I find them to be a little bit too icy for what I like in a highlighter, but the formula is amazing. But these are definitely more of a winter highlighter for me, but look at that, isn't that beautiful? And I just realized I don't have anything in my inner corner. What do I want to do about that? Do I just want to take a little bit more of that shade that I have on my lid actually and wrap that around? Because I feel like something is just missing. Like I cannot be without an inner corner highlight. So I'm just taking a little bit more of this shade and just kind of wrapping this around here. Okay, so we're gonna try this. I don't know if this is going to work, but I do have a lip gloss from Lethal in the shade Elemental, which is a very, very kind of dark metallic-y, purpley magenta, kind of similar to my hair color with a lot of sparkles in it. But it is a little bit on the sheer side, so I need something underneath. I don't know if this is gonna go with the look at all. I feel like I'm just stumped. I feel like I should just do like concealer lips and a lip gloss on top, but should I try this? Yeah, let's try this. I'm gonna use this lip liner from Mirabella. It's the Lip Definer. I don't know what the shade of this is. It does say like Smart on it, but I don't know if that is the shade, but I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips with it because it's the lip liner that I have that is the most similar to the lip gloss. The lips are on, and I know you didn't get to see me put them on because my stupid camera shut off because I'm so sick of this DSLR camera that just always shuts off after 30 minutes of filming. Anyway, let's talk about this collection. As I'm sure you already know, I don't have anything bad to say about anything. I'm honestly kind of blown away by the eyeliners. I'm so impressed by those. I can't wait to use those on my waterline every freaking day for the rest of my life because look at that. That looks beautiful. And also the shadows perform like a dream, like Lethal shadows always do. But of course I'm going to do more looks with this because I only use 3 shades in the palette, which is kind of, you know, rare for me, but I wanted to focus a little bit more on the liners because I know that that is something that is probably requested and a lot of people maybe are focusing more on the palette than the liners, and I wanted to make sure that I had a good idea of how the liners perform because everybody knows that Lethal shadows are pretty good by now, so I didn't want to like take the focus away from the liner since that is more of a unique release. But the palette is great. I mean, obviously, like I said, I don't have that good of an idea of the formula yet, but I'm assuming that this is standard good Lethal quality. Like I said again, I am going to do more looks with this, so keep an eye out for that. I'm definitely going to do a 3 looks 1 palette with this, using more of this collection along with the palette. So yeah, that's gonna be my first impression. Let me know if you're interested in picking any of these things up. I wish I had a code, but I don't. But thank you so much for watching. As always, if you want to see some more first impression videos, here's my playlist. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, and hopefully I will see you all in my next video. Bye.